Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Tall Guy Talks Travel with Rick Dougherty. Of course, I am your host, Rick Dougherty, joined today by my wife, Courtney. How are you doing today, Court?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Today we're going to be discussing our recent stay at Universal's Endless Summer Resort, Dockside Inn and Suites. This resort opened to the public in December of 2020. The Surfside portion had been open for longer. Actually, those of you who listened to the old version of the podcast heard me talk about a stay at that side of the resort. But right now we're talking about the newest side to open, and that's Dockside Inn and Suites.
Yeah, after you stayed at Surfside, it had me excited to stay at Dockside.
So this entire Universal Orlando Resort vacation was actually a holiday gift that I gave to Courtney because you hadn't been to Universal since, when?
Oh gosh, since I was 11 or 12 years old.
So that stay is going to be the topic of today's episode. Before we get started, I just want to say, if you're looking for a free, no-obligation quote on a Universal Orlando Resort, Walt Disney World, or any other type of vacation, I'm also a travel agent whose services are always 100% free to you. You can shoot me an email, rick@eartotheretravel.com. rick@eartotheretravel.com, or give me a call, 727-507-3123, 727-507-3123. So now let's get into our discussion of Universal's Endless Summer Resort Dockside Inn and Suites. I think the first thing we have to mention, as we were preparing for this trip, the first thing you notice is this is a very, very affordable resort. For what you are getting, this is basically on par with a value resort at Walt Disney World, although I'll tell you, the prices are never what you would find at Pop Century. They're always less than that. I can always find a room at Endless Summer for less than I could find one at Pop Century at Walt Disney World. And I am not putting down Pop Century at all because I love it and it's on the Skyliner. So if you are doing a complete Walt Disney World vacation, it may be worth it to you. But if you're hopping back and forth, I think Endless Summer is a nicer resort than Pop Century at Walt Disney World. Would you agree, Court?
I think so, yeah.
The value resorts at Walt Disney World, they have the doors open out, whereas you open into the hallway at Endless Summer. So that in and of itself makes it feel just a little fancier, a little bit more like a hotel rather than a motel. Endless Summer, both sides are also a high rise, so you can actually pick a room that's higher, get a really nice view out of your window. But we'll get into all of that a little later. Right now we're focused on the affordability. And I'm an annual pass holder, so I was able to get a discount on our room either way. Originally, we were just going to get Courtney a 2-day ticket. We were going to get her a park-to-park ticket so that she could experience Hogwarts Express. You need a park-to-park ticket to be able to ride that between Universal Studios Florida and Universal's Islands of Adventure. It was actually a better value for us to get Courtney an annual pass. Granted, it has a lot of blackout dates attached to it, but she got an annual pass as a Florida resident, and it was more affordable for us than if she would have gotten a 2-day park-to-park ticket.
Yeah, that was great. And then later the same week, I had a friend who is also a Florida resident, and she looked into the exact same thing, and you were able to get her hooked up with her annual pass. And again, it was cheaper than doing the individual tickets. And she was newly an annual pass holder, but she was still able to apply that discount to her room.
Yes, this is a really great feature when you check into the lobby at Endless Summer Resort, as long as you're getting there at a reasonable time during the day. If you're getting there around check-in time, this will definitely be the case. They have a ticket kiosk where if you've already ordered an annual pass or any park tickets, you can pick them up at that kiosk. Because they let you do that, that means you can get an annual pass, pick it up at the kiosk, and then use it to check in and get your annual pass discount on the room. I know that whole thing might be confusing. That's one of the reasons you use a travel agent. I already gave you my information, but it might be something to look into if you're thinking about especially a longer stay at any of the Universal resorts, as a matter of fact. Unlike Walt Disney World, which is almost discouraging annual passes, Universal Orlando Resort is really promoting their annual pass holder program to the point some APs are coming with 15 months instead of the normal 12 months. They are giving a lot of discounts and special perks in the parks. Definitely worth checking out whether a Universal Orlando Resort annual pass is the best way to go for your traveling party. Moving on to the rooms, we got a standard room instead of one of their 2-bedroom suites. We asked for the highest floor possible, and we got the 6th floor.
One of the things I like is that, from what we understand, they are leaving the rooms empty for 48 hours after completely cleaning and sanitizing before the guests will enter the room.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a big thing at these resorts, especially during the pandemic. You know, it's not one of those things where somebody's checking out at 11 o'clock. They're quickly rushing to clean the room, and then you're in there at 3 o'clock. They're leaving these things empty for 2 whole days. That should really make you feel safe. It should make you feel comfortable. The room, for all intents and purposes, was spotless. You could tell it had been thoroughly cleaned. They had the remote control in one of those plastic baggies, letting you know that the remote control had been sanitized. The real trend at a lot of these resorts, both at Walt Disney World, at Universal Orlando Resort, and places off property, is to go with hardwood floors instead of carpets. That makes it a whole lot easier to clean. And now that the pandemic has occurred, it's probably better things were moving in this direction in the first place, because it makes it a whole lot easier for them to clean.
Yeah, it's a really nice overall new clean feeling room. Clean as in modern and kind of sleek but comfortable. It's keeping with that beach and surf type of theme. And then I wanted to point out that for the bathroom area, you had a door separating the bathroom from the sink and vanity, so someone could be getting ready while another person is in the shower, that type of a thing. That was a nice feature. Additionally, you have your standard mini fridge, and then you've got an iron, a safe, a hair dryer, which is good, and plenty of outlets and USB ports, which is excellent.
And obviously there's not just an iron, there's also an ironing board. But one thing I wanted to mention about these rooms, and I noticed it in November when I stayed on the Surfside side, the flat screen TVs in these rooms, you can tell they are brand new, great technology. These are fantastic televisions. I know they're certainly better than the one that we have in our living room. Right now, on weekdays, the Universal theme parks are actually closing fairly early in the evening, which means on Monday and Tuesday, when we got back to the resort, we had plenty of time to watch some TV, maybe catch a movie. The quality of these televisions was actually a big deal for us. In addition to the room, there are some other perks that come with staying on site at any Universal Orlando Resort hotel. That includes each day having the opportunity to get into at least one of the Universal theme parks an hour early. The Tuesday that we were there, we were able to go to Universal's Islands of Adventure and get there an hour earlier than normal day guests. That gave us a chance to get back to the Hogsmeade, Hogwarts area of Islands of Adventure and maybe not have to fight the same kind of crowds we would have if we waited until the official park opening time.
Right, so for someone like me who was really excited to see all of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter offerings, it was great having that kind of advantage to get in there a little bit early, and really nobody was around, especially the crowds hadn't built up. So you have a great opportunity to take pictures and really experience everything firsthand.
Obviously, most people are going to run right to Hagrid's in that situation, so the other resort guests who also have the same perk you have at the time are probably running to Hagrid's right away, trying to get on that super popular ride. Of course, if riding Hagrid's is important to you, you might want to do that with your extra hour. We decided we were just going to sort of walk around the land and take in the details because it was Courtney's first real time seeing Hogsmeade and Hogwarts. One of the other perks is bus transportation to and from the parks. The buses ran very, very frequently. However, I am a little spoiled because my annual pass comes with free parking. So we had to pay $15 a night to park my car at the resort, but I was able to go to the theme parks, have free parking for the theme parks. The buses are a great option. They're great transportation if you don't feel like dealing with that, or if you would have to pay to park at the theme parks. Since I didn't, and like I said, I am spoiled with being able to leave whenever I want to leave and do stuff like that, we decided that we would drive. But trust me, taking the buses, they're definitely sanitary. They're making sure that everybody has their temperature checks before they get on the buses. You have to get a special wristband each and every day you're going to ride the buses to the theme parks that shows that you did have your temperature checked. Everybody has to wear masks. There's all of the social distancing involved. The buses are a great option. Like I said, I'm just a little spoiled.
Another great perk about staying at the Endless Summer Resorts is that in the lobby, you've got a Starbucks, and then you've also got a pretty substantial store, a Universal store. They have merchandise from, of course, Harry Potter, things like Minions, Simpsons, all of the Universal fun rides that you know and love. And then in addition, they've got the Endless Summer specific merchandise, so you can have that great memory of the resort where you stayed. And right now they have some really cool themed shirts and mugs with just great colors like your oranges and turquoises.
Yeah, all of the Universal Endless Summer Resort merchandise really has that classic beach vibe to it. It looks like something that's a higher quality version of something that you would get like on a boardwalk or at a beach, except for, like I said, it is much, much better quality than those cheap beach stores that you would go to, but it has that really nice color scheme. There are mugs, t-shirts, beach towels, tumblers, hats, shot glasses, a whole bunch of really great resort-specific merchandise. It's honestly some of my favorite Universal merch available anywhere on property is the resort-specific merch at Endless Summer. Then, if you enter the lobby and are looking straight at that Universal souvenir store, to your left, you will find Pier 8 Market, the quick service location at Universal Endless Summer Resort, Dockside Inn and Suites. This is the specific quick service location to the dockside side of the resort. And this food, I'll tell you, was just absolutely great. Why don't you tell everyone what you got, Court?
So the first night I got a turkey burger with fries, and it was good. You know, turkey burger can get dry sometimes, and this was juicy and really flavorful and really seemed fresh. They do have some things already made and ready, but for the most part, they're making things fresh when you order them. So it's not sitting under a heat lamp all day. The second night I got chicken and waffles with mashed potatoes and gravy. The chicken and waffles, I think, is one of the standout dishes for them, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was definitely very juicy and very flavorful. The mashed potatoes and gravy were standard, but really good.
So we made this trip at the end of January, and I was doing Veganuary, where I was trying to go 100% plant-based for the entire month of January. Spoiler alert, I accomplished that goal, but because of that, I got the Veggie Burger both nights. The Veggie Burger itself was really tasty. It was nice and thick. It was juicy. Everything that a good veggie burger is and a bad veggie burger is not. Like Courtney said about the turkey burger, it wasn't dry. It was definitely juicy. I did add a little bit of hot sauce, but I add hot sauce to almost everything. What I want to talk about, though, about the veggie burger is the avocado. It came with smashed avocado on top. And if you've ever been to Chipotle or Moe's Southwest Grill or any of these places where they really, really cheap out on the avocado, not the case at Pier 8 Market at Universal's Endless Summer Resort Dockside Inn and Suites. The crushed avocado was dripping off my burger. There was so much layered on top of the burger that it was literally dripping out of the bun. When you consider it's theme park resort food, it was very reasonably priced, but let's be honest, food at these resorts are expensive. So if I'm going to pay a little bit more than I would pay maybe at an off-property restaurant, at least don't cheap out when it comes to the avocado. And they didn't. This was a really, really good option. Such a good option that I got it both nights.
One of the mornings, I did want to have breakfast, and it was great to have a breakfast option there. Rick was nice enough to go down there one morning and get me a breakfast sandwich, and this was great. It had egg, ham, cheese, and then came with a side of hash brown patties and some bacon.
That is a really great option to get something substantial for breakfast before going to the theme parks, because when you're at Universal, it's really tempting to just go to City Walk and pick up some Voodoo Donuts. And even if you do pick up Voodoo Donuts, because they're great, trust me, go there, get some donuts. But even if you do that, just having that substantial breakfast already in your stomach is going to negate a little bit of the sugar. You think in theme parks you can live on just sugar alone, but trust me, you're going to want to have something substantial in the morning, and Pier 8 Market has a lot of great options. I also picked up their refillable soda mug, and this is a great option for somebody who drinks soda the way I drink soda, or even if you're normal and drink soda a little less than I drink soda. The mug is $9 the first night and $3 each additional night. So we stayed 2 nights. It cost us $12 to get the mug, but this was refillable basically our entire stay. So while you're at the hotel, you basically have unlimited access to their Coke Freestyle machine. You can also have coffee and tea as well. So here's a little hack. Obviously, you're going to want to use the mug for both coffee and soda, but you don't want your soda tasting like coffee and your coffee tasting like soda. My suggestion is when you want coffee, go up to the register, show the person that you have purchased the mug, and they will give you a paper cup to use for your coffee. Just explain the situation. They want to make you happy. All of the Universal team members that we interacted with throughout our trip were absolutely incredible. That actually leads me to a little bit of a funny story. So Courtney wanted to get a little extra sleep. She wanted to go to bed early because we were waking up so early to go to the theme parks. And I decided I would let her get some sleep and I would go down to Pier 8 Market, sort of sit by the freestyle machine, read a book, drink some refillable sodas, and just enjoy my evening letting her get sound asleep before I went back up and got my night's sleep. So the first day we checked in was Sunday. It happened to be the Sunday of the AFC and NFC championship games. When I got down there, the Chiefs had just beaten the Bills to secure a spot in the Super Bowl. And we haven't mentioned until right now that there's actually a bar also in the lobby. Well, there were a few Kansas City Chiefs fans at that bar who must have been tailgating even before the game and drinking the entire way through it, because by the time that bar was about to close, the team member who was serving as bartender and did an amazing job, but he had to handle some people who had had way, way too much to drink. First of all, tip of the hat to that team member who really went above and beyond the call of duty. Second of all, I have a really silly memory about how I was the person who was sitting in a closed down restaurant drinking refillable sodas, and I wasn't the one making an idiot of myself. Just want to mention a few other perks of staying at Universal's Endless Summer Resort Dockside Inn and Suites. There are multiple pools. Now, we did not visit any of them, but we did see people enjoying them the entire time we were staying there. The pools also have poolside bars, and I know a lot of people really love that. Dockside also has a pretty substantial fitness center that is cleaned very, very regularly. It looks spotless. We saw people enjoying it once again the entire trip. I know I have a gym membership. Usually when I'm on vacation, I kind of take a break from that, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I might be training for a race or something like that, and I definitely need to hit the fitness center even when I'm on vacation. If you're like that, definitely check out Universal's Endless Summer Resort. Both Dockside and Surfside have fitness centers that can be really, really important for people. Staying on property at Universal Orlando Resort also guarantees you entry into the theme parks, of course, if you have a valid ticket, even on busy days when the park is near capacity. Around the holidays, on weekends, and very specifically on holiday weekends, that can be a very, very important perk about staying on property at Universal Orlando Resort. Now, before we wrap up this episode, I did mention that it was Courtney's first time at Universal since she was like 11 or 12 years old. There are obviously a lot of things she was seeing for the first time, and I just wanted to get her thoughts. So one of the reasons you wanted this vacation so much was to check out the wizarding world of Harry Potter. What were your thoughts?
Really fantastic. The detail is really incredible, and you feel like you are in the movies. You are seeing all of those things that you remember from the movies, and it just takes you there. You have some really fun shops as well.
But I think the thing that surprised you the most was the Bourne Stunt-tacular at Universal Studios Florida. You actually loved this.
Right, and I'm not a person who is normally into things like fight scenes or action or stunts. But the way this was done, I think everybody can really enjoy it and appreciate it. And I know as we were talking about it, we appreciate the timing and the choreography that goes into it. They have some interesting technology that they incorporate with the live action, and it's seamless. And it's just so exciting.
Yeah, I've often said if you've seen the Indiana Jones stunt show at Disney's Hollywood Studios, that is showing you how they made movies. The Bourne Stunt-tacular shows you how they make movies. It is awe-inspiring. I was actually a little worried that I oversold it when I was telling Courtney about it before she saw it, but immediately as we were leaving the theater, she was like, "Do you think we can see that again tomorrow?" I have never known anybody who has seen the Bourne Stunt-tacular and didn't absolutely love it. It is a must when you visit Universal Studios Florida. Courtney, thank you so much for joining me for this episode.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed discussing this today.
This has been another episode of Tall Guy Talks Travel with Rick Dougherty. If you are looking for a free, no-obligation quote on a Universal Orlando resort, Walt Disney World, or any other type of vacation, shoot me an email, rick@eartotheirtravel.com, rick@eartotheirtravel.com. You can give me a phone call, 727-507-3123, 727-507-3123. My services are always 100% free to you, and it is a great way to help the show. I'll have another brand new episode of Tall Guy Talks Travel with Rick Dougherty next Thursday on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Stitcher. Have a great weekend, everybody.